Hello, so today we're going to talk about the New York City Marathon that I think I postponed a little bit, but I wanted to say something first. I'm actually going to postpone by like a few weeks the rest of the videos of the other major marathons because suddenly I've got like a ton of stuff to talk about and it can't really wait. And also because of that, for a little while, I'm gonna try to go back again to weekly videos instead of every 2 weeks. So yeah, also because I'm training again. I've been training for a couple of weeks, like following a training plan for a race. And yeah, there's a lot I want to talk about. So that's why I'm going to move back the major marathon overview videos, and that's it. I think that's the announcement. Okay, and now let's go to this quick overview of the New York City Marathon. The New York City Marathon it started in 1970. It's not the oldest marathon, but not really the most important, but it's definitely the most famous because of New York City. It's one of the most popular, with more people trying to get in, more people finishing it. Now it's been a few years that there are like more than 50,000 finishers, and I believe that's like the biggest amount of people in any race ever to finish. Also, out of the 6 marathons, I talked about this in the Chicago video, but this is the hardest one. This is considered the hardest race because it has a lot of hills and ups and downs. And even though it's sea level, I think all of them are sea level, this is considered the hardest one. To me, it would be like my favorite thing to run, the favorite race I would do, and if I could only run one marathon or one major marathon ever, it would be the New York City Marathon. I would love to run there. So the first one, at least the first one, was just running around Central Park, and Central Park is really big. If you run around Central Park, that's 10 kilometers. So it's just 4 laps around Central Park. That's not much, and that would be a marathon. The first one was done like that, and as it grew, they changed the route, and now it goes through all of the boroughs, all of the neighborhoods. Actually, it just starts in Staten Island, which is, I don't know how the logistics are to get there, like for that quantity of people to get there. I mean, they can't all use the ferry, but because they literally just start at Staten Island, they just cross a bridge that goes to Brooklyn, and then the rest of the race is going through all of the rest of the boroughs. But yeah, they just begin in Staten Island and finish in Central Park, where it used to be, on Fifth Avenue. The records are fairly recent. Both records are from the 2010s, and that is Jeffrey Mutai has the record for the men category at 2 hours 6 minutes and 6 seconds. That's really fast for a hard marathon. And Margaret Okayo has the record for women with 2:22:31. And I think I already had said this information in another video. I'm not really sure. And well, so right now the New York City Marathon takes place on the 1st Sunday of November. And this year it will be this November 7th. And it appears that we will have a New York City Marathon this year, because last year was cancelled because of the pandemic. And just the last thing I will talk about is how many ways you can get into the race, aside from being an elite runner. You can do the lottery, which is the hardest lottery to get. I read there was like 2, 3 or 4% of getting it, because hundreds of thousands of people enter the lottery. and it takes place in, at least right now, this year it took place in January and February. Other way is to, depending on your category, to qualify, and I'm gonna show you the graphic right now. The hardest one to qualify for is Boston. We'll talk about that in that video. Also, you can qualify by being in a, you can run it by running it with a charity, running it, with a travel agency, which you pay a lot of money, but it's just a guaranteed way to go. So if I never qualify for any major marathon and I never win the lottery to run any major marathon, I'm sure I'm going to pay to run the New York City Marathon, even if it's in like 15 years or whatever, just to run it. That's the only one that I know I will run because I decided just now that I'm going to pay for it if I never qualify. And the other way of entering, the last one, is like the legacy one, which is if you run 15 or more, you finish 15 or more, you have a guaranteed entry for every year. So that one, I mean, if you didn't do it like in the 70s or 80s, probably that's like so hard to do, unless you're like a really good runner that always qualifies and can do that, and you live nearby. You don't have to make a huge expense to run it. Well, that's the way to do it. So that's it for now. Next video is going to be about another pair of shoes that I got, actually as a present, even though I think in the video I say that I bought them, but I didn't. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and run.